an extra half an hour today, and I still feel like I could have used a little bit more time. But I think we are just about ready to go. Let me go ahead and send out a tweet to let people know that we are getting going. Oh, I should change my stream title too. That's important. Should have maybe done that before I started. ILNP Holos water marble testing. And update. Seems like I always manage to forget something. Okay, we've got that going. Let me get my chat here. Hello, if anyone's already here. Here we go. And sorry, I'm taking a little bit here. I thought it would be better to go live and take a minute to completely get things going than to sit around and be late going live. KJD Radcliffe, hello. Thank you for joining me. And Ribbons, hey girl. Let me see here. Why? You know, streaming, I see why people say get your stream set up the way you want it and then just don't touch anything, because there's so many weird things with streaming. Like my dashboard is saying I have excellent stream health, but then it's also telling me I'm offline. So maybe I should... Hello, Eris. Maybe I should refresh this and see. Just because I don't want to... No, sorry about that. Refreshing it unmuted it. But that was like a very short echo, so I think the low latency mode is still working really, really well. What that kind of means, for those of you who aren't familiar with streaming, is that the delay between the stream and the chat should be much shorter than it usually is. So one of the tricks I usually use, I mean, there's like, you can go in the settings and actually see what the delay is. But if somebody has a chat on screen like I do, you can just kind of count the seconds between when you type your comment in the chat and when it shows up on screen. So today we are going to be doing some more water marble testing. I had planned something else, but on Thursday I squeezed in a short stream where I did this manicure. In fact, let me see if I can get in a little bit closer here. Is that as close as you're going to let me today? Now, this is something I really still have no idea what the cause or the solution of this problem is, but if you were watching on Thursday, you know that I got, I'm pretty sure, maybe I should go and check before I say it, but I got a lot closer than this with my camera so that you guys could have a better view. Try and stabilize my camera a little bit more here with my completely janky solution. This just doesn't want to work today. And today it just doesn't want to zoom in as much as it was for no apparent reason. So that should be a little better. Jerry, thank you for the host. And hello, Starlore. So, I've already got a few test strips here. Make sure we're kind of straight here. I'm not completely positive what colors of this I'm going to be using, if I'm going to be using the whole collection or not. But the first thing I'm going to start out, hi Jerry, testing is with a white background and a black background. And the folded up paper that I use, the receipts, already pretty much acts as a natural white background. In some places you can see some of the text popping through, so I'm going to use this part over here with the least text as my white, And using OPI Black Onyx, I'm going to turn this other side black, and then I'm going to get out the colors that I'm actually going to be marbling with to show you guys. And I didn't have any problems with the low latency when I used it on Thursday, but if you guys notice anything weird, like any extra buffering or anything like that, let me know. And I may go back to regular latency if those kind of problems start popping up. So, move this just so it can dry, and start getting out these polishes. And these are from their last spring's collection. Oh. This one doesn't quite go with the collection. It's a little bit darker than most of the pastels. But, I might use it also. So these are the colors. And I'm always kind of torn when I get nail polish that's in a box like this. Like, do I want to keep the box? Do I not want to keep the box? And so far for these, I have kept the boxes. And, makes it kind of a hassle whenever I'm going to use them, but like the boxes are so nice. They have like a matte finish, so they're really smooth and nice to touch. That sounds kind of weird and creepy, but I mean, I'm a tactile person. I like soft things and smooth things. It's one of the reasons I don't often wear textured or matte nail polish, because I really prefer having smooth nails. When as you touch your own nails, the textured polish just, I mean, it looks beautiful. I love the look of it, but the feel of it, I get really sick of. Where do you get these nail polishes? These, ILNP stands for I Love Nail Polish, is, I don't know if they would really super count as an indie brand. To me, they're bigger than like a true indie brand, but I don't know that this brand is carried in stores anywhere. So, like, let's see how many of these I can squeeze on screen here. One more. So a lot of the nail polish that I buy online. $5 endorsement deals. Very rarely. I've only had one what I would consider like high dollar endorsement. I do occasionally get some, free products. I'm adjusting the cat cam just a little bit there. But the thing with like nail polish companies, and I think with makeup companies also, is that because there are so many, vloggers and bloggers and Instagrammers, stuff like that, they've really gotten used to not needing to pay for endorsements, just being able to get away with free product. And if it's a product I'm already a fan of and would likely go out and buy myself anyway, that's one thing. But if you're some brand that I've never heard of and have no relationship with, and you want me to, endorse you, like, well, number one, I don't know anything about you. Number two, my time is valuable. And in some cases, it's even companies that have like, have you actually looked at my channel? What does your product have to do with my topics, and why would my audience be interested in your crap? Ninja, thank you for joining us. Studying hard, just for a couple more weeks though, right? And then you'll get to have a short little nice break. So I went over these a little bit Thursday, when I was painting my nails with, is it this or this? Full Moon. So this is the color that's on my nails right now, and I actually let me make sure this is working here. I have a Polish in Motion up on my YouTube channel now. You can check it out now, so you can get a look at this in the sunlight. It's really hard to capture in pictures or even in videos, but I really like it a lot. filled with stress. No, you gotta just put it out of your mind and enjoy the time off, and, you know, set yourself a date for when you can start stressing out again, or you'll go crazy. Too much stress and too much tests make SSD go crazy. One of the things I don't like about my ring light is that it doesn't show off holographic polishes very well. And I had the thought before to like use a little flashlight to like shine on them and give them more of a direct light and see if that would help to pop it out. But the one flashlight I had around at the time, I don't know if you guys even can see this. You maybe can see the reflection of the flashlight in the bottle, but it's really not doing much for the holo. But somebody in my YouTube comments suggested I use the flashlight on my phone. And I wish I could remember who it was so I could thank them. But my phone flashlight is bright as hell. So let's see if this helps at all to bring out some of the holo. Yeah, you know, I think it does. It's still not ideal, but I think you guys can kind of get a glimpse. You know what might work? Let's try this. Let's turn off the ring light. And there you guys can see. Looks like it's in the dark because I have the lighting controls off. But that gives you a tiny, tiny glimpse of the holo that they have. I wish I could capture it better live. Hi Liz, how are you? So I'm gonna go over the names quickly. Like I said, this is Full Moon. That's what's on my nails. This is Versailles. This is Rosewater. Sunday Brunch. Easy Street. Spring Bouquet, and Chit Chat. And I'm going to try and organize these. So this is kind of pink. Whoa. Oh, God. My cup of water is like slightly off camera, and I just already almost toppled it. Luckily, that's why we're working on top of the Miracle Mat to contain any spills. Rave Party Holo. Oh, cold got you. I hope it doesn't last too long. My mom just had a cold that lasted like 3 weeks. You know, I think I'm gonna stick Versailles to the side right now because, as you can see, it's a bolder color than these more holographic or pastel holos. So we've got a pink, we've got kind of a yellowish orange, the green, teal, blue, purple. So that's pretty close to a rainbow order. And now I know the names are not in the order that I set them, but sorry. So let's see, where am I going to want my bottle here, or my cup? I'm going to try and not block the cup as much this time. And God, I've got to, that's my homework after this stream, is to figure out why in the world my zoom is so inconsistent, because I would love to be able to get in just a little bit closer to the cup so that you could really see. God, and I wish sometimes my little rig works pretty well and sometimes it doesn't. If you're wondering what my rig is, it's a shoelace tied around my ring light and then like attached to my desk to give it a support, since the arm only connects on one side. Yeah, I'll pass it along. Hey, handsome. Yeah, hi. I'm glad he came out. He was, I call it his name is Beanie, and sometimes he likes to get made up inside the bed, like wrapped up in the blanket, so I call it a bean burrito. And he was in there for a couple hours this morning after I got dressed. So yeah, we've got the cup here. I'm gonna scoot it maybe right about, yeah. We'll get these. Since it's testing, I like it when you guys can kind of see the bottles and see what I'm working with. But I also, it's nice if you can actually see the design also. Maybe we'll do like this. That's not the greatest. Maybe Once I get this set up, it won't be quite so bad. Just fitting everything in this little area. So, alright, we'll go with that and get these open. None of your holos water marble. That's, you know, I should probably give these a shake. Even though shaking can cause bubbles and cause my camera to shake. If you were painting your nails, I definitely do not recommend shaking the polish right before you apply it. I'd say give it at least a couple hours for the bubbles to fully settle out. But since this is just a testing stream, I'm not overly worried about bubbles. By the time I get to doing a manicure after the stream, at the very earliest, the bubbles should have settled. I'm kind of surprised because most holos seem to water marble. In fact, I'm kind of betting this stream on these water marbling, because if they don't, excuse me, I'm not sure what plan B is. I guess we'll just see here in a minute. There we go. So, we've got our polishes ready to go. You always want to make sure the tops are off before you get started. We've got our test strip ready. We've got a white side and a black side to see how these play. When I did the manicure, this is 3 fairly thick coats. And, you know, at certain angles on my longer nails, I feel like you can definitely still see some translucence. That's not a very good angle. Sorry. So if I were to use this again for a manicure, I would definitely consider a base color. And for the water marble, I'm hoping and assuming, and probably right, we'll see shortly here, that the black will really make them pop. So I'm going to get a little bit of polish remover here, my little bowl, dish, wasabi container, whatever this thing is. I've got, you know, I don't like this orange stick. I'm not sure, no, of course, because I've got the autofocus off. Maybe if I show it in comparison to this one. So, like, can you guys tell that one of these orange sticks is very sharp and the other one is a little bit blunted at the end? You want to use as sharp of a tool as you can, but if you get orange sticks and they're not like really nice and sharp, that's just perfectly fine. High level Hollow Knight gameplay. I don't know if that would ever be possible, Jerry. I do want to play it, but high level, I don't know. And I'm not sure, I know it's not like super intensive. I'm not positive my computer would handle it. And I see it's supposed to be coming out on Switch, so I kind of wish that that would happen so that I could just get it on Switch, because I think that would be great. So if you have an orange stick that's not like fully sharp, a little bit like, you know, maybe it got just jammed into something, or maybe it just wasn't sharp out of the box, with a nail file, you can go ahead and sharpen it and get it to a nice little point. Just kind of go twirl it against the nail file, and you'll get a nice point. Of course, make sure you're not getting any shavings that are going to fall into your water marble. But with a little bit of filing, now this one that was so dull is just about as sharp as the other one. So, little trick that I don't usually have any reason to show on camera. I'm trying to decide if I want to go ahead and get a Switch now, or if I want to start out with a few Steam games, because I'm having such a freaking time with picking a capture card. But I definitely would like to get started. Or maybe a little bit of Disgaea. Then you could watch me play and decide if you are interested in it, even though it's a tactical RPG. I remember really loving Disgaea, but it was like, I don't know, more than 10 years ago, I can say that much. And I haven't played any of the others, but they're about to release, I think, 5. So if there's 5 of anything, it must have at least some amount of following. Excuse me, I'm a little bit hoarse. God, hold still here. There, how about that? So we're going to get started. This first one is going to use all 6 of these, and then I'll probably use them all 6 again. And I'm going to apply the first one over white and the second one over black. And we'll just see. It's kind of interesting because these scattered hollows, they look almost like a glitter or something in the water with the way the holographic particles start to disperse. But they are still keeping it pretty even rings. They're very sheer in the water, though. It makes it kind of hard to tell what's what and when it's done expanding. And, you know, I'm just gonna go up and down here and do a couple quick chevrons. Oh, you see we've got wavy lines. How much of this is even? God, it looks so sheer on camera. And I, even in person, am having a little bit of trouble, like, seeing where I even drew my lines through. But this is not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, against a naked nail, this would not be something probably that you want to use. Let's see what we get here. A little bit of white background. Is the camera even going to pick that up? Can you? No. I can see it. It's so sheer. It's like a translucent oil slick. So if we do use these, it is for sure not going to be against white. Well, you know, it's not the price that's getting me so much, Jerry. It's the fact that a lot of the good ones I were looking at want Windows 10, which, as I was researching, I remember the reason why I didn't upgrade in the first place is because it doesn't support my editing program. And I don't know if I'm willing to learn a new editing program just to upgrade to Windows 10, which I already kind of don't want, just because I don't want to change, just because I'm stubborn and old. But, yeah, I don't know. And there are a couple hacks to get stuff that's designed to work with Windows 10 to be compatible with Windows 8. But that type of stuff always seems kind of like a risky bet. Alright, I did go opposite on this one, and they do actually seem to be spreading a little bit better. I think I'm going to try and go for another round of drops, and this may come back to bite me in the butt. We'll see. Because I think you guys can tell, even on camera, as sheer as this is, the drops in the center are not spreading out as well, and that's what leads to like a really thick polish blob. I'll have to check too. Sometimes polishes don't spread, not because they're necessarily incompatible, but because the outer rings are drying. That doesn't seem to be the case with these. Yeah, no, I'm gonna do the same pattern just for comparison purposes. It's really kind of interesting because I think I mentioned to you before, the editor that I use is Movie Maker, Windows Movie Maker, just because that's what I learned with and that's what I know. And when 10 first came out, it was at least still supported, and there were some workarounds to get it to, whoa. Can you guys, let me get the glare off of that. That's very rainbowy, but I don't know if that's really gonna work for a water marble either. Let me just sit this here for a minute. When Windows 10 first came out, there were some workarounds, or they would at least still let you download it. But when I went and looked a little further, apparently official support and official downloads for it ended in January 2017. So I'm like super behind the curve now. But it's not just that it's supposedly incompatible. From what I read, it's one of the things that, due to whatever in the upgrade process, Windows 10 actually deletes when it installs. There's like a bunch of apps that will interfere with the installation, so they get deleted, and then the compatible ones get re-uploaded. But if they delete it and it's not compatible and there aren't any compatible downloads, like, my options are either don't upgrade to Windows 10 or hurry up and start learning Adobe Premiere. So, kind of, you know, one or the other. Or not worry about it for now and just find somewhere, buy a cheap controller and start playing Steam games. So, then that led me down a whole other rabbit hole of, you know, Googling stuff and searching, because, apparently the Switch Pro controller is compatible with Steam now, but most people still recommend the Xbox controller, which I kind of hate, and PS4 is a lot of people's preference, but also doesn't work well with a lot of games. So, it's on the Windows 10 store. See, now I'm going to have to look again. I wonder if people complained so much that they gave in and brought it back. So, this black one came out a lot more interesting than this white one, which you can barely even see the colors, but it's not a very defined water marble. So now I need to see, this is what I get for being overconfident. I was like, yeah, these are going to marble and I'm going to make something awesome. I'll just have to decide what design to do. No, now I'm in a situation, I do like it on the black base, but it's like you can't even see the water marble. So we are going to change our plans, and I'm going to move this cup of water out of the way before I spill it. Put it up here. We are going to get out the... Oh no, I put it right on top of the wet water marble. It's okay. We are going to get out a black lid. And, is this my only black lid right now? Ugh. I like the black lids because, just like the white receipt paper acts as a white background, and normal lids also act as either a white or clear background, the black lids act as a black background. The clear lids are, like, not quite clear enough to, really see through them. Or I would just use a clear one and put it on top of, like, a black piece of paper. Just gonna clean this off real quick. I'm gonna see if these will work for a drip marble, which would be a little bit disappointing because drip marbles are decals, usually, and I just did decals, and decals are not my favorite, and decals are not my friend, but we'll see. They may not work for this either. The thing is that the scattered holo, I think, is the problem. It's so scattered that it's like, it's making the colors not disperse the way that I really want them to. I'm just getting this as clean as I can here, so that's a lot better. Do I want to go with all the colors? I think, why not, for a first go-round. And I think I'm going to do this a little differently than I normally do. What do you usually use to edit ribbons? The reason I've always liked Movie Maker is because, to me, it feels very intuitive. and like Adobe Premiere Elements. Whenever I want to do anything in there, it's like the simplest little thing. I'm having to Google a freaking tutorial just to figure it out. OpenShot. I don't have any experience with that, but very much like old school Movie Maker. Yeah, you know, I'm trying to remember. I've had issues with Movie Maker. Movie Maker has not always been my friend. There have been weird updates that would make it so that the videos I recorded on my camera would not have audio unless I converted them before importing them to Movie Maker. And I'm pretty sure I'm not on the most recent version now, because to me, editing is kind of like I was saying about streaming. It's like once you find something that works, like just don't touch it. All I need is something that I can do, like some simple transitions, maybe stick some text or picture on top of a video and add in some music, maybe speed some things up. The longer I go, I'm like, I need quite a few things, actually. When I originally started, things were very, very much easier because I wouldn't show quite as much of the process. I would just show like what would be the center of a tutorial nowadays. There was no intro, there was no talking about base coat or really talking about base color. You know, it was just the main, like if I was water marbling, it would literally just be the cup and the dip. There was no cleanup included, there was no top coat included, no outro, no slot for my end cards. So all I needed to do was put a video in, trim off the front and the back, and then upload it. And then, you know, gradually over the years I've added, you know, intro and outro, but still, you know, just like one piece of video. And when I went to showing more of the process and having more than one piece of video, it was like all of a sudden editing now always takes an hour, even for the simplest freaking things. So usually for a drip marble, I will kind of create a series of like mini bullseyes. I showed you guys a little bit of one during the lava testing, but for these, because of the way they're acting in the water marble, which, you know, I wonder, is this... Let's do one other thing before I move on to this. Let me get a little piece of paper towel, because maybe this isn't as bad as I'm thinking. I'm just blotting up some of the excess water, because as it's drying, the design is actually coming out a lot more than I thought, and just giving me some other ideas. A lot of bubbles, probably from me shaking the polish, but let me give this a little bit of top coat and see what happens. Oh, that's still okay. And I've not dropped any frames either. This low latency mode makes me nervous. I don't know why. I know it's supposed to work properly now, and I know, Jerry, you've been using it, and you know, I haven't really noticed anything weird or different or extra buffering. You know, maybe that is salvageable. Still doesn't show up very well on camera. God, when am I going to get used to moving not the direction I think I need to move? So there you guys can see it with top coat, and you can see how the colors, a lot of them are a little bit kind of duochromy and change at different angles. It's really giving me very much of an oil slick look or feel, especially from a little bit of a distance. Yeah, it did. It totally changed when it dried and with a little bit of top coat added. I still feel like the colors are really... like, it depends what you're going for. Like with the plummy colors water marble, those colors really held their own. They had really nice clean lines, These are kind of on the opposite end. They water marble, but the effect that you're going to get is completely different than you'd get with like a cream. I'm falling behind on chat again. I apologize. I was like, I don't know. I looked away for a minute and there's all these comments, and hello Nikki. Thank you for joining us. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you so much. That is exactly why I enjoy, I mean, there's a lot of reasons why, but comments like that are so sweet. Stripes with the water marble? Yeah. Like if you take, so on this one we've got chevrons. If you make the chevrons like a little bit tighter and kind of pull down and across rather than just straight across, you can get kind of stripes. I'm gonna try another water marble with those, but I do also want to try a drip marble. For your old videos, you just spent 45 to an hour per minute. Wait, per minute? Oh, hell to the nah, ninja. Hell nah. That's all I have to say about that. Like, I would be pulling my hair out. Yeah. Well, and that's just part of it, Liz, because once I get done editing, or, well, even before I edit, I like to crop a few pictures to include. I like to, well, you guys know, I like to include one of both hands at the beginning of the video and at least one of each hand toward the end of the video. I usually want to at least crop those down, and then when I'm done editing, I want to make a thumbnail with, you know, some text on it, and then you got to upload it to YouTube, which is going to take however long. Then you got to do all the YouTube metadata, which even with defaults, you know, you got to tweak a little for each video. And then it's like all of a sudden that takes another hour. That's why I like I was saying a couple streams ago, I really don't like doing it all in one day. It's a lot easier to break up recording, editing, uploading into at least 2 days. This content creation stuff is a lot of work. Yeah, it is. That's the great thing about streaming is it frees me from all that editing BS. Like, I mean, there's other issues. If you've been watching, I've had at least one issue every single stream, and that's okay. It's a whole different set of issues, a whole different set of learning, but I hate editing. It's not my most hated thing in the world, but it's just like, at the same time though, I would never let anyone else edit my videos. Like, you don't know what I want. You don't know how to edit my video. Basic news feature deals, yeah. Charge more from YouTube. Yeah, I wish. Darbian is following me. That's so awesome. Thank you, Darbian. The metadata for YouTube is like the description that goes in the information box below the video, the tags, the monetization settings. Some of that probably isn't technically considered metadata, but I kind of put it all together in my head because I do it at the same time. Yeah, this is my usual time for streaming, Darby, and my scheduled time. I'm working in some other days as I'm kind of getting more content, but yeah, thank you so much for stopping by. I feel so flattered, you guys. Oh, this is an excellent time. I think it's the first time I've used this command. Darbian, you can thank Darbian for this stream and all my other streams happening. Darbian is the reason I know anything about Twitch more than the name. He's the first person I watched on Twitch. Yeah, so go over and check him out. Not nail polish, certainly, but you may find speedrunning more intriguing than you expect, because I certainly did. What was I? Oh, metadata. So yeah, there's all kinds of stuff like that. Scheduling. Just, you know, there's so much things that people don't really think about, and I wish we could just like charge YouTube more, but I mean, the whole advertising situation on YouTube right now is a whole other mess. You know, Adpocalypse, if you guys are familiarized with that. A lot of the partners that lost their monetization due to not meeting the criteria. Thankfully, I wasn't one of those. But as I've mentioned before, one of the reasons that I am kind of expanding to Twitch is to have more content for my channel, and also to kind of embrace another platform, because YouTube just is so unreliable and my channel is just not growing like I feel it should grow. Yeah, you know, it's so nerve-wracking, Darby, and like I said the other day, but it's so fun because like interacting with my viewers is so much different than just answering comments on videos. And so far, at least, none of my disasters have been honest disasters. They've mostly been entertaining and thankfully also fixable. Good to have your assets spread around. That too, because, you know, even if I technically wasn't relying on a single platform, like, really, can I count my blog anymore? I don't think I've posted on it since last summer, and that was the first post in like a year. I keep saying I'm going to go back to it, but I haven't. And that's also a Google product. So I'm going to get started with this. It's so easy to get distracted and sidetracked. Jerry. I'm, okay, not gonna fall into a fit of giggles, but compliments just, I don't know. Thank you. Sometimes if you're awkward at accepting compliments like I am, just say thank you. It's so tempting, at least for me, to be like, oh no, like, don't say that. But I'm gonna get started on this drip marble here. Instead of the usual types of bullseyes, I'm just gonna add out like a pretty big blob of each color and see if that'll help them kind of stay separate while at the same time marbling together. So still keeping them kind of in the rainbow order, even though that's not going to matter too much. I wish, you know, I started watching this streamer named Megan. She does kind of a variety stream and some really cool creative stuff. And she's actually got, I forget what kind of camera, or if I even asked or no, but she's got like an actual video camera hooked up to show what she's working on. And it looks so freaking good. You know, I thought the 920 was going to be good enough, but in some cases like this, I don't know if it's really standing up. So you guys can kind of see that. These are all so light. I'm going to swirl the lid around and see if we can get an oil slick look like that marble was doing. And this is actually not turning out bad. Sorry, you're not getting to see much of this. But they are blending. We are getting something of an oil slick. I kind of was hoping that they would actually spread out a little bit thinner than they are. Yeah, like at this top edge here. Can you guys see the rainbow peeking through there? And as I continue to drip it around, it is thinning out a little bit. Good to know my weakness. Can you guys... Capturing colors is the most frustrating thing on camera. They are very subtle in person, but not as subtle as the camera is picking up here. But the real question is whether this is worth pursuing as a manicure, and I don't know that it is. You know, so if anybody's just getting here, this was intended to be a water marble testing stream, but this is what happened with the water marble testing of these. I was not too happy with how it turned out, and so I decided to try a drip marble. And the drip marble is not bad, but it's also not exactly good. Starlore, yeah, interacting with chat is, I mean, I feel as a viewer, even though most streams I'm in, I really lurk a lot, it's enjoyable to watch a streamer that you can say hi to and they'll say hi back, and it's enjoyable to watch a streamer that can, you know, maintain a conversation. I mean, not all the time, because especially like for speedrunners, I feel like it can be really difficult, like if you're in the middle of a run, to, you know, find those seconds to look at chat. But I mean, it's a key component to live streaming to me. So it was always, it's like top on my list of things to do and things to improve at. Looks better than it did on the paper for sure. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, sorry guys, I've got an eyelash in my eye. Or maybe just some mascara. Being a girl is hard. I should have just skipped the makeup. Honestly, a lot of days I don't wear any other than like filling in my brows a little bit. Yeah. In this case, I think the thinner the better. Yes. Okay, so like I said, I'm not unhappy with the drip marble, but I don't feel like it's giving me enough design. Okay, let's... Uh-oh. Hold on just a second. I thought... Dang it! I thought I had my nail polish sketchbook out here somewhere. Where did it go? Yes. Well, no. Yes, but no. Oh, you mean like actually, you know. Now I want to do like a drip drop blobicure test of it. This drip marble right here, I could let this dry and peel it up and do decals with that. Now I am kind of really tempted to do. Well, why not? That's why it's called a testing stream. Let's get rid of this water on here. I'm not going to use this lid because I kind of want to save it in case I have something else black I want to do. Let's use this one. Let's clean this off quickly. And I have another idea, but I need to remember where I stuck my polished sketchbook, or else I'm going to just need to speedrun a water marble. That's the thing, Ninja. Every water marble is a speedrun. If you wait too long, then you're, oh, no. Now I'm sidetracked. And it's all Ninja's fault. What I was gonna say, what just sidetracked me here, is if you let it dry, then you're gonna end up doing a veiled marble. And because of the way these are so sheer, I wonder what these would look like as a veiled marble. Actually, let's do both halves of this paper, and then we'll pick a couple of these colors and do a quick veil marble. So, veil marbling is... It's not actually marbling. I call it marbling because it's sort of like water marbling. It's done in water, but the design that comes out really is not a marble design. I'm going to need 2 orange sticks. In fact, this one's looking a little bit dull. Let's sharpen it. Your newly learned skill today. Sometimes you can sharpen it too much, and then you'll get like a floppy tip. And I'm aware that may come across a little inappropriate. Get your minds out of the gutter. So a veil marble is... What am I doing here? When you take the polish and drip it in the water and let it dry on purpose. I need to tell a little live spit. Nail painting speed runs. You let it dry in the water and then you pinch it together and it creates a wrinkled effect, kind of like, let me see here. Let's see if we can. Okay, this is unexplored territory, you guys. I'm gonna try and open up a picture of a veil marble and then capture the window, and we'll see if I can manage to do this, just so I can show you guys what it should look like. That would have been March. Where are we? And my ring light is still in front of my... Let's move over here. Other reasons why a freaking second monitor is ideal when streaming. So... Okay, so... Got it open. And then we want to add... window capture. Window capture. And I want this? Yes. There we go. So this is what a veiled water marble looks like. This one was done with a white base and a black veil. And you can see the black spreads out enough that it's transparent, and then where you pinch it, it goes together and becomes opaque. Yay, I did a window capture. Okay. So, that's what we're going to do, except we're going to do it with a black base. We're going to do it with one of these freaking awesome holos. Which one? Is this rosewater? Let's try rosewater first. Looks spidery. I know. Somebody... When I posted it, most of my comments are always really nice, really flattering, and I wasn't quite sure how to take this one, so I decided to take it with, you know, a humorous take. They were like, it looks like a butthole. So I was like, oh my god, you're kind of right. And I responded back that I should do one with a tan base and a pink veil for like April Fool's Day and have like anus veil technique. That wouldn't be appropriate though, but that's okay. Alright, so let's add in a drop of rose water. We're gonna let it spread out there. It's pretty sheer and transparent, but I think you guys can see where the edge is. I'm gonna blow on it just a bit. You want it to be dry. It's very unsimilar to water marble. Sometimes I'll just test it at the edge to see when it starts to dry. It'll also get a little bit tacky. It may stick to your orange stick, which also makes this a little bit tricky because you don't want it to stick when you're pinching them. And yeah, I was not able to get a look that looked the same as the creator of the technique, Perfect 10 Custom Nails. Like the way her black spread in the water, it was like it looked like a dirty water marble cup, so it didn't spread out in a nice round shape. It spread out kind of wonky. All right, so we're gonna go on each side. And can you see the wrinkles? We're gonna pinch. You don't want it too dry or it won't stick when you pinch it. And then release it. Yeah, actually those wrinkles show up pretty nicely on camera. And then we're gonna dip it. And then we're gonna give it a light, like, pat. The wrinkles can kind of... In fact, let me get this little piece of paper towel I was using before to help dry this off a little bit. Just get some of the excess water off of there. That's actually freaking cool. Check that out, you guys. And it's sparkly. It's a lot sparklier than it's coming across on camera. And it's not top coated yet. Yeah, pinching the like 2 pinches. This is like I said, the lady who, as far as I know, created it and named it. Like some of hers, she would do like 2 or 3 pinches. That's freaking cool. Okay, but now that I know how cool it looks, I want to do all 6 colors. So let's put out a little bit more black here. Yeah, like lightning. Like lightning, or it also reminds me of, like the one I did, the black and white one, I kind of settled on that because I was like, oh my god, there are literally so many color combinations. I was like, for my first try, I just am going to need to go black and white because otherwise I will just never be able to decide. So it came across very abstract because I was just using like really monochrome. These really give a very flowery look. That was another one that I already wanted to try. I was thinking like use a real juicy, I use that word a lot, probably inappropriately, like a real juicy red and pinch it and dip it and then add like some black seeds on the top as a poppy flower. So, okay, we tried the pink. I kind of want to put them on the strips in order. Actually, let's my room is so junky. That's why you guys only get this view. I'm looking for a lid to dry these on, and this lid is still sitting here with the test strips from the Zoya Hall polish testing. I need to... God. You can hear that car alarm, which you probably can because this microphone is great at picking up things I want it to and things I don't want it to. I apologize. Hopefully whoever's car it is will get it together and turn it off. That's another one that I want to try, Starlore. In fact, maybe if we have some extra time here. What time is it? Okay, so it's 3. So I've been going for an hour. That's not that bad. My thought was to do it with the OPI color paints. Although it might be really pretty with these holos too. I want to give them some solo attempts first. Where am I going here? Right about there. All right. So this is the you can't hear the car alarm. That's good. You know, it's interesting how, like, the microphone has different settings, and I have it on the, what do you call it, cardioid or whatever, so it should be picking me up because it's facing toward me. But it's interesting, some quiet sounds behind it will pick up, and some it really won't. So this is the yellower one, and this actually spread out a lot more than the pink. Maybe we'll give this one more than 1 pinch. And I try to just keep the... Oh, my dish at some point got pushed off screen. But I just try to keep the tips really clean to try and help them from sticking too much to the polish. Have a good rest of your day, KJ. I'm going to have to start abbreviating your name because it's a mouthful. I can't decide if I should abbreviate it KJD or just Radcliffe. I'm thinking Radcliffe because the letters are like tying my tongue, but thank you for joining us. I hope you have a wonderful day. Yes, Starlore. I'm always, before it goes on down the road, Ribbons, I'm always kind of inclined to do like primary colors together and then they mix to become like secondary colors. Oh, that's just like a perfect pinch. I love that. I was going to do 2, but that's so perfect. I think I'm just going to leave it like that. And I wish I'd painted a little bit more black on here, because... and you may have noticed I'm using 3 sections of the paper instead of usually I use 2. Water marbles tend to go over the section more because they're filling up more of the cup. Just gonna give this one another little pat down, a little light wipe, like I'm grabbing the paper towel and just like letting it drag over the surface just to pull off some of that water, just so it's a little bit easier to see. Yeah. God, I have a feeling these are all going to be awesome. But in this case, possibly due to the wrinkling, possibly just due to the polish, I feel like the pink one has more distinct gathers. The yellow one is almost spread so evenly that you can't tell. But I may slap a little bit of top coat on these when I'm done. Maybe not. I try not to necessarily like waste top coat on tests because in most cases I can make a pretty good guess of what it will look like with top coat. But sometimes I need a visual aid. Boyo, I don't think I said hello to you. Thank you for joining us. Up close looks like outer space. Yeah, you know, these... Gosh, you guys, now I have another thing I want to pursue. I want to try and do a Galaxy Manicure with these. I've never actually done a Galaxy Manicure. They're so popular. I did some testing at one point, but I was not happy with how they turned out, so I never actually ended up doing the manicure. And I am still kind of looking around trying to figure out... Yeah, it was just under 2 bags of chips. Yeah, we'll go to a new page for when we finish up this. Beanie has his back turned toward us. Hey, little boy, why don't you turn around? Huh? His ears are turned. He hears me talking to him. Yeah? He's like, no. This should be dry now. Looks like a firework. Outer space, yeah. Quick, somebody write these down. I know, Ribbons, I have so many notes, and I'll find notes, and I'm like, oh my god, this was a great idea. How did I forget about this? I'm gonna go ahead and do this one 2 pinches. In fact, actually, maybe I'll do 4 pinches, or 3 pinches to make 4 petals. We'll see if it looks like a shamrock at all. Maybe or maybe not. With this 3rd section on this piece of paper. And this one you can really see how much it's lifted up there with the pinched section. That's why the tapping it down is so important. Get rid of a little bit more of that water. And equally so when you're doing your actual manicure, because even though Sèche Vite will level quite a lot, even it has its limits. I think I should have stuck with just 2 pinches rather than 3 on this one. Would have looked maybe more like a 3-leafed clover. As it is, kind of got too much gathering or pinching in that particular section. Yeah, or even like with sponging Star-Lore. I mean, I think sponging is more traditional for Galaxy. I've also thought, ooh, that would also... See, this is... I don't know how non-creative people even exist, because how can you not just, like, get ideas when you start doing stuff? The drip marble was not super successful, but imagine if I did some of these with some black. Okay, so maybe I should actually write these down. I'm getting so many ideas. So, another good use for the receipts. We want to try black plus hollowed drip, black plus hollow blob, black plus hollow drag. Okay, those are my... Okay. I almost feel like I should change the title of this stream because we're only doing a small amount of water marbling. My My mat is getting kind of wet here. Midstream snack time. More bananas, Jerry? I'm gonna need a snack, but usually, like, honestly, when I get done streaming, it's almost like an adrenaline crash. The first week I really think it was, which is like you're so, like, worked up for something and, like, nervous and excited and everything, and your body's just, like, pumping all these endorphins in you, and then it's over and you're like, oh, and all of a sudden you're just, like, exhausted. So I usually can't eat right after stream. I have to, like, wind down a little bit. You have ideas, but you can't make things, Ninja. That's so sad. But you can. You just need to practice. I mean, obviously, like, my first attempt sucked. Unexpectedly sucked. And, I mean, you gotta keep pushing through. Oh, the 2 bags of chips. See, this is what happens when I fall behind on stream. Or fall behind on chat, and then I think it's just like a random comment, and it's actually a comment to something that I said. I feel like I am getting better managing chat, but I know I still have a ways to go. Yes, exactly, Ninja. I mean, maybe not everyone can do everything. And maybe not everyone can do everything to the same level, but I think a lot of people look at somebody and think, you know, oh, they just have an aptitude for that. And maybe they do, but you have to back up that aptitude with practice. We'll go on and do these last few here. And this one, we'll see if I can control myself with my pinching and do more than one, but not as many as that last one. I also, not with these, because they already are kind of hard to differentiate between, but with some other colors, I've had a lot of requests and have also wanted to see myself doing several drops into the cup, you know, creating a small bullseye. Probably not as much as like a full water marble, but doing like several drops and then doing a pinch. Muses inspire the creators. Yes, definitely. Oh, wait. Yes. And inspiration. Yeah, I get inspiration all over the place. I mean, sometimes from things people may consider perhaps slightly inappropriate. I had a couple comments on, like, my lava blobacure that, like, I shouldn't have posted it right now because everything that's going on in Hawaii. And it's like, you know, I even talked about that a little bit during the stream. What's going on in Hawaii is horrible. I mean, it sucks. I'm not, you know, certainly poking fun or anything at anybody that's, like, actually experiencing a volcano. But at the same time, like, I can't let that stop me from expressing my creativity or from finding inspiration even in horrible, horrible things. You know, I mean, lava's beautiful. It's destructive. It's both. I like this one a lot. Which one? This is Easy Street, which is kind of the more turquoisey teal of them. And even though I did pinch it more than once, you can't really tell on that one. Hollow rainbow pinch. Yeah, well, you know, we can do that. Why not? We'll, in fact, I'll maybe get one more strip at least ready while this is drying. Oh yeah, exactly, Jerry. People can get offended over any and everything. And, you know, I think, you know, I try not to be, like, super taking offense. I mean, sometimes mean comments can really hurt, like, unexpectedly. Like, I don't know this person, and I really don't give two craps if you don't like me, but certain things are really easy to brush off, and certain things just cut you unexpectedly. But I would say that almost every single video I've done, and I have almost 700 videos on YouTube now, probably almost every single one has somebody saying they hate it and somebody saying it's their favorite thing ever. And you just have to keep that in mind. You're never ever in the world going to please everyone, but you're almost always going to please someone. So, and of course, please yourself first and foremost. So satisfying. Maybe I should add that to my tags. So satisfying. Those satisfying compilations are almost like a kind of a visual ASMR thing to our conversation yesterday. Were you there for that, Ninja? When we were talking about ASMR? Exactly, Starlord. I mean, if you live next to a volcano... Oh, I might have left this for too long. We'll see if it still sticks together. If you live next to a volcano, I don't think you're going to be super shocked or, you know, anything when it erupts, because that's what volcanoes do. You know, the thing I think is kind of both messed up and stupid. Oh, that one. Now this... see if I can get this here. Kind of like bunched up too much and then didn't... this is like a loose part. If you see, I can almost like completely lift this with the orange stick. It was a little bit too dry. When I do my nails, I think if I didn't, I certainly would if I did it a second time. Use a little bit of yellow stopper to get your nails a little bit tacky. Give that dry polish something a little bit more to stick to. Or you can get stuff like that where the design just doesn't even stick on your nail. And we kind of lost the detail on that second pinch. Although this is... which one is this? Oh, this is Chit Chat. I like that. That's one of my favorites so far of how it's showing up. Yes. Oh, yeah. And the people who, yeah, they're like, what you should do... it's like, no, what I'm gonna do is what I'm gonna do. And if you think I should do something, maybe you should go somewhere else. Lava poop? Volcano poop. Well, volcanoes poop lava. Dang it. I'm like, see, that's... I'm still working on that. It's like I read the comment and then read who made the comment. But thank you for joining us, Daggett. We are wrenching success from the jaws of failure. Maybe. Well, it's yet to be determined. We're not doing what we planned on, and that's okay. Like a jellyfish. That's another one. You could go and you could like add in a little, like if you just captured like the half of a pinch, or if you pinched it right on the edge and then go in and add some little holographic skinny tentacle legs. Oh, entirely too many chores Saturday. Well, I hope you are either taking a break and a lovely, enjoyable, relaxing break, or I'm at least providing some semi-entertaining background to your chores. Oh, that's still a little bit too wet. It's starting to dry. Can you guys see it's like grabbing onto my orange stick here? Get off. Not quite dry enough to pinch yet, though. It's like almost dry enough. You see how I can kind of move it around in the cup? But not quite dry enough to pinch. You know, I find it really flattering that you guys find me entertaining. Like sometimes, like my mom says I'm funny, but I mean, she's my mom. She also thinks that every single manicure I've ever done is wonderful. But I know that is not true. This is, am I right? Yeah, this is the full moon one. This is what's on my nails. You can see how very, very different it shows up over black. So, next, before we move on to one of the other ideas, we are going to try using all 6 of these. We're going to do a rainbow veil. Jordan Stash household. I think it is a lot of places. Like, even when I stopped working an office job and I'm not on, like, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, certain days just seem like they make more sense for certain things. But the difference is, I feel really dumb when I'm, like, doing a Target run at 3 or 4 o'clock on a Saturday. I'm like, dude, why didn't I do this at 1 o'clock on a Tuesday when all these jerks were in work? Like, I'm not a fan of crowds. I'm not a fan of strangers. But sometimes I'm really bad at getting it together and getting out of the house before it's, like, rush hour and people that work are all over the place. Oh, thank you, Starlore. You're like my mom, boyo. That one is best. The last one, Liz, the blue one that matches my nails. The person who is a very discerning critic, as you guys know, is my grandma. She will absolutely let me know if she is not a fan of manicure. But she still supports me. I mean, you don't have to be, like, loving every single thing to be considered supportive. Yeah, I did dag it. I swiped it with a little bit of polish. I have also before, like, used, like, a black marker, but it seems difficult to get it quite fully opaque black, and I've got so much polish, I usually just go ahead and use polish anyway. Yeah, Starlore, and it's like, I can get through it and I can go do it because I know in my head, like, there's no reason to be anxious about going to the grocery store. But it's much less anxiety-provoking if I go when it's not like a nut house. Because the more people there are, the more chance there is for idiocy to occur. So we'll go ahead and do 1 drop of each of these. And a lot of times, like, I enjoy playing with polish and doing water marble testing and stuff. Sometimes with more expensive polish, I kind of hesitate to do it because it's like I don't want to waste it. But with these, the way they spread, and because I'm using all 6 of them, I'm not using more than 1 or 2 drops per cup, so I'm really not using that much, even though I'm doing a lot of testing so far. Give that just a little bit of a blow. So, I still don't, like I said, I don't want to waste them, but at the same time, to figure out what I want to use them for, I need to do some amount of testing. We'll see, we're probably starting to dry out at the edge, but still pretty wet. Oh, damn it. Still pretty wet in the center. Yeah. Well, or sometimes I'm like, think to myself, well, the store's open 24 hours a day. Maybe I should just go shopping at like 2 in the morning. I'm up that late anyway. But then that's like a whole other set of anxiety. Because, like, what weirdos am I going to run into at 2 o'clock in the morning? I very rarely have gone shopping that late. Yeah. Unicorns and rainbows are like peanut butter and jelly? Maybe? Very, very close. They go well together is what I'm trying to say. See, the center is still a little bit wet. You guys can probably hear that blowing even. Thanks to the mic. Maybe not. I'm not blowing at the mic. I'm not like, well, maybe I shouldn't do that. No. How loud was that? I couldn't resist for some reason. 2 a.m. Walmart is less weird than 2 p.m. Walmart. I'm the kind of weirdos that don't like to shop during the day. Yeah, with multiple people. Shopping is a lot easier. Well, usually with multiple people. Sometimes when I have my mom and I want to do like a quick trip and she's like reading labels or looking at tags, and it's like, dude, come on, Mom. Yeah, it's like, you know, I don't want the edge to be too dry, but I don't want the middle to be too wet. I can see, you can kind of see, it's almost like a little elastic in the middle right now, and it's more plasticky at the edges. I think I'm going to go ahead and try to pinch it now, and I'm going to do just one right at the center to hopefully get the best rainbow payout. That seems pretty good. I could definitely tell it was wetter in the middle than at the edges. Walmart, you know you're on Friends. Let's see here. Oh, I didn't center that very well, but that looks kind of cool. Still hard to tell. Let's line these up. If you missed the beginning of the stream, these were our first two. This nearly invisible one is over white, and this kind of oil slick looking thing is over black. Oh no. Let's line these up here to dry out. And actually I should have put some black on this side too, because I think I want to do one more marble test. Can't hear you blowing until I blew right into the mic. Well, sometimes, like, I know the mic will pick up every time I, like, put a bottle of polish down or click the cap. I don't know. I'm still getting used to it. It's such a nice microphone. I really do like it. That would be, to our previous conversation about editing, one of the good things about using Premiere, because it would be easier to do voiceovers if I decided to go that route. I did a tutorial using my normal camera on one of the really hot days, and I was just I felt so bad by how loud the air conditioner was when I was editing. I was like, oh my god, and I didn't even remember to apologize for how loud this crap is. Especially after having done the stream with the air conditioning on and basically even forgetting it was there because the filter worked so well. I did get one person, I think it was just on my last live stream that I uploaded to YouTube, that said they could hear a slight difference in my voice, a little bit of a tinniness that I'm assuming is probably due to the filter. But I think that's an acceptable payoff to get rid of the fan noise, or especially the air conditioning noise on the really hot days, because the air conditioner is, like I mentioned before, it's literally almost within arm's reach this direction. And it really can get quite loud. All right. So this one, we're going to go ahead, we're going to do, actually, no, we'll keep going this way. We're going to do 2 rounds of all the polish, and then we're just going to do like a messy design and see if it comes out like a beautiful oil slick or like a disaster. And then we're going to go ahead and test a couple of those other ideas that I had and see, after all the testing, which design is the winner. And there'll have to be a winner, because I would like to get up a tutorial tomorrow. Even though I've had a couple videos this week, which is, you know, previously was not ordinary. So let's go up, go down, get a couple of chevrons in there. Well, actually, I guess that's just one chevron. And then let's kind of swirl. I can't really see what happened there. We won't know until we dip. Oh my. It's hard to see. I mean, from that you guys probably can't really tell much of anything at all. Let's dry this off a little bit. Oops, that was a little too wet. I wiped off a tiny bit of the polish. We'll let that dry just right here for a bit. And I'm going to move this water out of the way once again. So, we have 3 things to test on our notes. Let me get these out of the way. Actually, let's move this onto the lid here for drying, because I'm going to need some additional space, some additional dry space for my notebook here, because I want to try this first, because it occurred to me first. Alright, so we have here the nail polish sketchbook. It's not like a special sketchbook, it's just one that I use for nail polish things. And we're going to get this lid here. And do I want a brush or do I want a dotting tool? I think I want a brush. And this one's still kind of dirty. Must have been from the gold manicure that I did. This is just like a medium small type of a brush. And which colors? Do I want to use all the colors? Will that work? Let's go for it. We'll dab out a little bit of these. Not too much. You don't want them to dry out as you're working with them. And then we're going to do a little bit of drag marble testing. Oh, those got out of order, didn't they? Yes, they did. Should be like that. Okay, so we've got this right here. We're going to get out... You know, actually, I was using the OPI black, but for drag marbles, I really like Finger Paint's Black Expressionism. And since it's right here on my desk, I'm going to switch to it. You know, Bean, his crazy... Oh, this happens sometimes. This is like the actual brush that goes up inside of here. If you get like polish dirty around the edges and then it dries and then it freaking glues the thing on there. Usually just a little pressure will loosen it, and then I screw the regular cap back on to get it tight. And there, now we actually have a brush. Sometimes Beanie is really wild, especially when he's outside. If he's outside around like twilight or dusk, he'll be sitting there, he'll be chilling out low in the garden, and then all of a sudden he'll like shoot past you at top speed. Okay, I'm getting a little bit of this, starting with the pink. That's gonna be nice. The question is, can I fit all these colors? I'm gonna need some more acetone here in a minute. Is this showing up much on camera? It's not. Damn it. I'll give you guys a closer look in just a second here. This is actually going very well. Although I could use a little bit more space, or maybe I need to use not all the colors. Let's do part that blue and part this purple. Oh, the purple's nice. Let's... I like that a lot. That has potential. Either to use all of them or just to use a few of them. I need to figure out my camera issues, but I think you guys can see. Like, this is a lot more... Like, you can still clearly see these are on top of black, but they're a lot more opaque when you're applying them with the brush than they were with, like, the marble. I think the main problem with the marble is that it was just creating too thin of a layer, and you were getting such a scattered look that you weren't getting much of the color. Yeah, and it is Pride Month. I have been thinking of rainbow designs, and I've considered a couple. And one of them I really would like to do, but it would be a super ton of work. Red and orange, it could be flames. I've done flames. Let's see. When was that? No, I don't remember when it was, or I would pull up another picture and use my newfound window capture skills to show you guys. I've actually done flames this way in a couple different colors. Now you want to Pride Manning with these. I really like the way... I wish I could get a little closer. I'm mostly happy with these C20s. I know I'm complaining about them a lot, but part of it is just that it's... like, sometimes I'm working on something larger, like the water marble cup. I do have it down a little bit lower today. I think I could probably go... well, okay. Well, no. I was going to say, let's try right now in the middle of stream, but let's not. Let's not do that kind of experimentation on stream. I thought better of it. Probably for good cause. Let me get out a little bit more. These are probably already drying. That's the one thing with, like doing a drag marble with these many colors, like you want enough that you can pick up a good amount of polish, but the longer they sit there, they already start to, can you see how it's getting a little bit stringy? Yes, with the Magician. I've also, how many years ago was it that Radiant Orchid was the Pantone color of the year? I did a Radiant Orchid drag marble flames. These would also, okay. I'm using OPI again just because that's what my hand went to. Oh, didn't mean to do that. We'll just make a couple of black spots in here, and I'm going to want to let these ones actually dry. We'll let those dry while we work on something else for a little bit. I just had another consideration, and I'm going to make myself a note if I can find my pen so I don't forget. Okay, we'll use this same lid, and I think I'm going to go with the OPI black again. Let's do the drip marble first. And the Magician, speaking of the Magician, or kind of going back to that, is this same brand. The Magician is the reason that I have these colors. I'm gonna do more of a traditional blob marble, or drip marble. The earlier one I did, I just was using large blobs just to kind of see how they would react. This one I'm gonna do it more how I would normally do it. So I'm gonna start out and I think, and I don't want too much color in here, so maybe I'll do 2 colors for each layer. So this layer will do the pink and this goldeny yellow, and then do another layer of the black. And then we'll do the green and the teal. And then another layer of black. And then we'll do the blue and the purple. And am I going to want to do another layer of black on top of this? Ah, decisions, you guys. Even something small like that can, you know, change the way the final look comes out. I think I am going to add a little bit more black. We'll see if I regret it or not. And I'll try to keep this one more on screen so you can see. This technique I call drip marbling, because you drip them all in a little design like that, and then you tilt it around, and it starts creating a marbled pattern. Like this. And see, at first they were staying quite separate. Now it's just kind of turning into a swirly, holographic, lovely mess, but still kind of a mess. I'm not fully surprised by that, because they do have that scattered hollow in there. Seems to, like, creams seem to work best for this as far as like keeping their integrity and getting some very recognizable lines in there. God, it just disappeared. Freaking completely disappeared. Not happy with that. I like it, but it doesn't look like anything. You know what I mean? I mean, it kind of looks Galaxy, but it's not like, okay, let me just look. Oh, you know, that's where I should go to really, okay, hold on just a second, you guys, because this is super smart of me to remember that I have this folder, and we'll see. Okay, so let me pick the right source for this. This was my first drip marble, and it's still one of my favorites. You can see how put some pinches in it. How the colors more hold their own, and you can still see a design, like compared to how these hollows are acting. I mean, it is still kind of a cool look. It's giving a very Milky Way vibe. I think it's not quite coming across on camera as much as in person. Like I said before, it's subtle, but it's not that subtle. But that's like the type of pattern that I'm looking for when I'm doing a drip marble, not just this. I don't know how to describe it. It's it actually, well, kind of looks like fluid art. I don't know. That's another technique that I really would like to get into and give a try, is fluid art, and I've read a lot of different techniques about it. I've read a lot of different tips. A lot of artists do it with acrylic paint. Doing it with nail polish is still kind of a new thing, as far as I know. It's a very close cousin to drip marbling, but with the fluid art, you really kind of just let it flow. So for this, I'm going to be doing a blobicure, like I did before for the lava, and we'll see how this shapes up. I think, like, a part of me wants to do them all color on top of color, and another part of me wants to do them with black in between. So we're going to compromise and do it half and half. See, that kind of starts to, you barely can see, oh, you barely can see on camera. But as opposed to if you go directly into the next color right on top of it, you still barely can see. I don't know if I'd be able to get all 6 colors this way either. Let me do a couple more drops. And then maybe our other black in the nail polish sketchbook might be dry. And we can give a try my other idea. Perhaps my last idea, and the idea that I'm really hoping works out. I just don't feel like they are as impressive as I want them to be in a Blobacure. It would look cool, but I'm not going to go for it. And I'm not even going to save this one for posterity. I'm just going to kind of swirl it around. Let's see. Maybe with slightly less polish, I can get a slightly more distinct drip pattern. Like that. See, now, like, if I just left it like that, I may even end up having to play with these a little bit more. This feels like it could go as an abalone design, but I feel like it would be very easy to overmix them and end up with just like the other one. Because you just don't have the control. So you get kind of like an abstract looking design there. Not in love with it. We'll put it over here to the side. Excuse me. Must be getting close to 2 hours. 3:45. So I think this will be my last test unless I come up with anything else. Oh, I can't put this over here. I need it as a palette. Gonna get out a little bit more polish, and I'm gonna see. Do I want to use this, or maybe? Let me see here. I've got like a pen holder full of nail art brushes. I feel like that's a little bit too thick. Maybe. Is this what? Where's my medium-sized striper? Oh, here it is. This one. Of course, this is the really, really thin one. Maybe this one will be the best bet. I can use it at least for testing. So we're going to get out a little bit more of these, and I do really like the way they turned out. For this was kind of more of like a drag marble attempt. It was wet on wet. You can see these blacks have dried. So I'm going to give it a try as a waterfall, which is basically just streaks color. And is it easy? Wait, did we get out of order here again? Dang it! Sure did. Oh well. I was trying to put them next to where they were the first time, but apparently I put everything out of order yet again. How'd that even happen? There, like that. So, actually I'm going to turn this sideways to give myself a better brush stroking area. Get a little bit of the pink, and I think if I were to be really mindful about how wide I allow them to be, I could probably get all 6 on one nail. With the waterfall technique, you kind of apply them a little bit staggered so that they're not all rising to the same height. And sometimes even like if I were to use a thinner brush, like actually I'll go ahead and show you. What's the point of testing if I can't just change my mind on the fly? So with this thinner striper brush, if I were to go and I'll show you on this one. Like do like a tall one and then like a less tall one and then like, so you get something kind of like that. I have this such a strong urge now to buy a video camera like Megan has, because she was just, I mean, she could just zoom right in there, and I don't know. I'm mostly happy, like I said, with these C920s, but in some cases it really would be nice to be able to get in a little bit closer. Get in with the regular. See, I'd really need to be mindful on my nails if I wanted to get all 6 colors on one nail. But it gives you kind of a ragged, either tip or cuticle. You can either apply it, where am I here on the camera? You can either apply it like stroking from your cuticle or stroking down from the tip of your nail. So it'd either be, you know, like this or like that. Oh, my hand-painted stuff is like... You like the waves better, Starler? My hand-painted stuff is often not my favorite. Let's, I want to try this one more time. I think if I were to put it on my nail, I probably would try and start in the middle to try and make sure I have room for everything. Oh, and these are starting to dry, of course. So like start with the green. Wait, is that right? Yeah. Green, blue. Wait, no, green. I'm like distracted and can't even put my colors in the right order. Green, this gold, goldish yellow, pink, and then on the other side, the teal, the regular blue, and the purple. Of course, the purple is one of my favorite ones, and with this, if I keep them in a traditional rainbow order, it would stick the purple at the edge of my nail, which is not as prominent as I want it. I also could go for like a chunkier waterfall and not put every single color on every single nail. Do like, let's see here, do I have... Like, okay, so like a chunkier waterfall would look like, let's like this. So would only have 4 colors per nail, but would do the whole rainbow when you go across all the nails. So that might be an option for these. I really like that one too. That was one of my favorites. Diagonal across the nail. You know. That, you know. That's a good idea, Starlar. I could maybe, that would make it easier to, let's close the OPI. At Christmas time. Thank you, Barbie. And hello. I don't think I said hello. The 12 days of Christmas, I kind of try to force myself out of my comfort zone. I mean, it already is doing that many tutorials in that short of a time. But I really enjoyed like last year where each day was a different technique. It let me do some stuff that I don't normally do, and That's the only way you get better. Yeah, I love these colors together. I'm not fully satisfied with any of what I'm doing. Although this little failed Blobicure that we dripped around a little bit is looking more and more like abalone to me. I feel like on camera the colors in this are not standing out boldly, but where I've got them like dotted on the side, they look more colorful. They're equally colorful in there. It's just like the contrast with the black makes them not show up the way I would like them to. Christmas is your favorite Colette time. Aw, thank you. I really love it too. Last year I think was the best because I started it a little early and I gave myself a little bit more lee room than I usually do. Oh, I should dot out a little bit more of these colors. I'm gonna just move around before I do. Of course, I could also do this on a dry base. When certain designs, I personally have trouble deciding sometimes whether to treat it as a drag marble or whether to treat it as like a striping project. Like generally, I feel like drag marbles are easier and more forgiving, but not always, because you have to worry about the polishes that you're dragging with, like staying wet, and I don't know. It just can be hard to decide. So like, what if we, and this is a little bit big, but I try not to get too big. It's like maybe like slightly larger than thumb-sized area of polish. So we've got that, still wet. If we go in here and do the wavy lines at a diagonal. And that would probably allow me to fit them all more easily on my nail. In fact, we even could switch the direction each way. Not that that completely makes a difference, but you have a little bit less polish on the brush at the end of the stroke. And I did not make this long enough to do all of them. I would maybe need to use a smaller brush on my nails so I don't have such a thick line. And then like we were saying for Pride, I mean the wavy lines to me kind of give it a like a flag vibe. And then squeeze the purple in here. Ah. I kind of like the way that's turning out. Or, straight lines, which might be easier. Especially with the thinner brush. We'll do that. Don't want to get too big. Get a little bit more polish out here. And there. Yeah, with the purple at the tip. I usually feel like the tip is the more prominent, the more prominent placement. Prominent? Am I pronouncing that? I feel like I'm getting tongue-tied again, which probably means that it's almost time to be done with stream. I want to get one here that I'll let dry, also, to practice on, and then maybe I'll be done. Because that one, it's like, it's hard to avoid getting a drop of polish at the end of your brush. I mean, you guys, can you quite see? Right? Like how that gathers at the end in like a little bead. It's very hard to avoid that. And when you're drag marbling, that tends to be like a thicker starting point. Ooh, of course, maybe I could use that to my advantage. We are using Yeah, Star-Lord is correct. We're using ILNP. Inspired by the manicure that I did in Thursday's stream, and then I decided I really wanted to play around with the rest of these colors. So like that, like it's kind of hard to get an even thing dragging, but what if I then took and like came back on the other side, or even alternated them as I was going? Kind of come in almost like, ooh, you guys, it's happening again where the more I think, the more I start. About like some pastel hollow tiger stripes, or a pastel hollow gradient with black tiger stripes. So see the difference between, like that was still fairly wet. This was a thinner coat, so it's already starting to dry, and it's a lot easier to just get that thin line on there. No, it's actually, the haul of this was quite a while ago. I got it, God, I think it was last spring when the Magician came out. And I used the Magician a couple times, and then I never got around to using these. Kind of liking these very thin straight lines. What do you guys think? I know it's hard to see the color. I'll give you a little bit closer up look when I'm done. What was I saying? It's a little bit easier to control the thickness of the lines when you're working on dry polish versus when you're working on wet and kind of making it a drag marble. These are getting gummy. See, and the other plus is if I was doing this on my nails, I would do the base color, then I would probably do a stripe of just each one color, and that would be easier to keep the polish that I'm working with wet instead of it drying out as I try to do each one color one at a time on the nail. I kind of like that. Would be kind of more minimal than some of the other ones. And see, it's almost like an optical illusion. Like in this one, I feel like you can see the colors pretty well, even on camera. I feel like on this one, the colors are harder to see, but in person, they're just as vibrant. Yeah, it was a pop-up stream, Barbie. I'd thought about it, and I really, like, right before I started streaming, I was feeling so nervous. I was like, oh my god, why am I feeling so nervous? I feel like as nervous as I felt for my first stream, and I think it was because I just, like, it wasn't announced, it wasn't scheduled. I was like, what if nobody shows up? And, excuse me, got a lot of people showed up, and that really made me happy, and it got me to paint my nails. I mean, honestly, I may not have painted my nails at all if I hadn't streamed, and when my nails are unpainted is when 99% of my breaks happen. It's one of the reasons that I've had so much trouble with breaks lately is, you know, the peel-off base coat doesn't last very long. I'll take off my manicure with all intentions of doing a fresh manicure and then just not. It's like not get around to it. You prefer them wavy as well. Tiger stripes, rainbow prime. Mini Aaron time. Catch you later, Ninja. Thank you for all your hard work modding today. I'm kind of, and this is, now we're like completely far off from where the stream started as a water marble stream. Now last time I tried to mess with this, you guys, my cam froze. I apologize beforehand. I'm gonna turn back on the right light. And that actually helps. I don't think that's my imagination. And I'm gonna turn... Oh, that automatically turns the gain on. And I think... Can we get a little better? There. That gives you guys a little bit of a better look at the color and at the designs. Now I've got to reset the... I also had turned off the autofocus on this camera in particular because it was like it was not... It would like do that thing where it like goes fuzzy and then seems like it's trying to focus and then it would not focus at the right depth. That was kind of frustrating, so that's why I keep that turned off normally. But I had thought that the right light was kind of causing issues and causing some weird stuff to happen, but that actually seemed to help with seeing the colors. In fact, where did my other... Can you guys see these a little bit better now? A little bit. Still just a Milky Way mess, little mini disaster. The third one, so this one. A lot of people liking the wavy ones. Of course, I could also do wavy on... I think I'm definitely going to go more this direction than the water marble direction. For those of you who are just joining us, these are the water marbles. This is over white, and it's a very sheer rainbow mess. This is over black, and it is a slightly more obvious, but still sheer rainbow mess. And then we played around with some veil pinches, and I do quite like... You know, I'm also still tempted to do one of these, because these turned out so freaking nice. Like a firework. Maybe I should save them. Okay, that's what we're going to do, you guys. These are going to reappear, a couple of these colors, as fireworks for the 4th of July. I probably won't wait until the 4th of July. It's good to get that stuff that's tentpole events, as they want to call them, up before the actual holiday. Yeah, start here and end up there. That's how it always is, it seems like. Yeah, well, I was having... I think I'm going to leave it on for now, and maybe if I run into problems, turn it off, instead of leaving it off, and then if I run into problems, turning it on. I don't even remember what exact problem I was having with it when I was initially testing the camera stuff, but I think it definitely is making it easier to see the colors. Okay, let's do a few more little testy things here. Testy things, that sounds inappropriate too. Or maybe I'm the one with the dirty mind. Let's get a few little black patches. Then we'll have to wait a minute for these to dry, but it doesn't take too long as long as I don't make it too thick. Oops. Because doesn't have to be perfectly opaque. We're just testing. Just think it would not be productive to test on top of the white because they are so different on top of the white. A lot of times, if I know what a color looks like over a certain other color, I won't bother with a base color when I'm testing. But in other cases, I feel like I need to see it to really... You know, sometimes I can visualize things really well, and other times I actually do need to see it. You love the veil ones, Eris? Yeah, I really, when I did the veil technique, as soon as I saw it, like, a lot of times I see something and I'm like, oh, I want to do that, and it just, you know, it sits in the back of my mind, or it sits in my notes for weeks or months or years, and sometimes I see something and I'm like, I want to try that right now. The veil technique was one of the latter. It's like I saw it on Instagram and immediately sat down and started doing tests, and then immediately did a video on it. And I had intended to, you know, revisit it and do it more, and I haven't gotten around to it yet. huge surprise. Not really. I think I've said before that I must be really frustrating for some people to watch because I'll say, oh, I might do this sometime, and then like freaking never do it. It's still, I mean, it's not like I've forgotten. I haven't gotten around to it. I get distracted. You see, in these testing streams, how easily I get distracted. Yeah. Well, you know, MSLP lewd. Starlord, another thing that I heard, and right now it's kind of like a rumor, I haven't gone and researched it at all myself, was that the macro lenses that they sell for iPhones can be attached to the C920s. So if that's true, that might be a much more affordable option. Hey there, Beans. Stretching? Or are you leaving? Just stretching. Excuse me. That might be a much more affordable option than purchasing like an actual video camera to use as a webcam. Just get some nicer, what is that, little tiny something, than purchasing a video camera to use as a webcam. Hi there, Beanie. Showing your cute little pink tongue to everybody. Yeah. Quotes are enabled, Liz. But my mod is gone. He's gone to run his errands, so there's nobody here to add quotes. I figured out how to add the quotes after either the first or second stream. I think it might have been the first stream. And just about every stream since, I've like thought of something that I wanted to add and gone ahead and did it. Most of them are pretty easy. You know, with a quick Google, you know, whatever you want to do, Moobot and or Nightbot, and you'll come up with a bunch of threads on how to do it. The most recent one I added was a following command, which like right now is not going to be very impressive, but you guys are free to use it. Exclamation following if you want to see how long you've been following me. But it's like, it's another one of those things that just evolve as the stream grows. No, add more commands, add more everything. So, trying to think here what all I was going to test. Let's get out some polish first. I mean, you guys can see kind of what I was talking about as far as not dabbing out too much, because you don't want it to you don't want it to like completely dry up and be wasted. Like, these aren't fully dry, but that's not anything that I could still stick a brush in and get any kind of good result. Yeah, I'm like giggling because I can just imagine when you know, those numbers are just gonna keep going up, and soon there will be yeah, I haven't added any quotes. I added the quote thing, and I guess I didn't actually tell Ninja that I added it, or maybe he'd have been adding all kind of quotes. But yeah, what was I saying? Oh, so you don't want to waste polish by putting out too much. So if you do work just one color at a time on a dry polish, you can save more than trying to work wet on wet with drag marbling. So, trying to think of everything I wanted to try here. Let's try a Wavy Design with the liner brush. Now see, I feel like I need to improve on freehand, but I don't know if it's my brushes or my polishes, or like, how do those nail artists do it where they don't get that little beaded up bead of polish on the end? Like, that's messing up my line. Let's just wipe it off there like that. And then I'm gonna just try and see, now it's like I don't have enough to even like, okay, actually, okay, let's switch to yeah, Beanie had to have his own command. I mean, he's like my little mascot. And he does have, like, literally so many nicknames. Mr. Bean, Beanie Baby, Bean Burrito when he was wrapped up in the blankets. Fat Badness when he's being particularly challenging. So I've got my smaller brush here, and we're just going to see how this works as far as like adding in a wavy line. This might be my best bet. This is like the jankiest little small brush. It's crooked. I've trimmed it a bunch of times, but sometimes I feel like I have the best control with it. And that's a little bit hard to see, but you can see I got a nice thin and fairly even line there. And then I think I'm going to try this one with like how do tiger stripes go? Like you get a little bit of a triangle-y looking thing here. And ooh, I could even do dotting with these, but I think I'm going to stay away from that. I'm going to do another. Oh, you know what would maybe be cool? Let's try. We'll do like a set of crossed lines. Like that. And got one more blank black. What else do I want to try here? I feel like I had something else in mind and now it's slipped my mind, which is why like I have so many notes, and that's one of the reasons I had a polished sketchbook, because in the past, and it's still something that I do, I'll just take one of my little library receipts and make notes or do polish swatches or do like this kind of testing on just a receipt, and then I've got all these receipts laying around. Whereas now that I have the polished sketchbook, it's a little easier to deal with. Maybe I will go ahead and try dots on this last one. Let me grab a dotting tool here, which is also in my... If you have a bunch of nail supplies and you don't have a pen holder, I highly recommend it, because it just makes things so much easier than having things rolling all around on your desk. My acetone bowl is getting very dirty. Let me just peek it in here. You can see how dirty the acetone gets when you're cleaning off brushes and stuff. And it of course evaporates quite quickly, and also if you're dipping brushes in there, they obviously get acetone on them, and then wiping that on a paper towel, you're probably going to have to refill at some point. But what I would probably do is, when this gets very low, is get like a Q-tip and clean out that residue before I add more polish remover, so that the new remover is clean. If it gets too dirty, especially if you're doing a design that maybe has some white in it, you can actually like start contaminating your brushes. You'll think you're cleaning up, and your acetone is so dirty that you can't even clean up. Let's we'll do dots here. Of course, how many dots can I realistically fit? I probably could do a row of 7. Alright, now we'll move on to the next color, and we'll work on the next piece of each of these. Russian magic. Dude, I know. Sometimes I feel like, man, do they like teach this in grade school? Like, why are the Russians so good? Wait, I'm using the wrong brush again. I decided I was using this one, didn't I? I've got all this stuff out here for testing purposes. I'm confusing myself. So, like I said, you can see this little brush here is so janky, but it works for me. And that's the main thing. Like, you don't have to use the exact same supplies that I'm using to get the same or very similar look. You can use whichever is easiest for you. Like, maybe you really just have no skill at all with a paintbrush, but you could use a toothpick. We're gonna make this one a fatter tiger stripe, like this. And then this one will be crossed lines. And the last one will be dots. And I love dotacures. I would love to do one inspired by a painting I have. I don't know if any of you guys are possibly familiar with Elspeth McLean on Instagram. She does these beautiful, beautiful dotted mandalas. And I have one. Not one of her mandala stones. This really isn't quite fitting on it, but I'm going to add one more just because I've got extra polish. Not one of her mandala stones, but it was like a little mini canvas about that big. It's so cute. It's in like turquoise and purple and teal. And I know that somewhere in my unorganized stash, I have polishes that would match it perfectly, and I would love to do a manicure inspired by it. And you definitely could get a lot curvier with these swirls. I'm trying to just make sure they're similar to each other. I'm kind of keeping in mind when I did the, for those of you who've seen my rippled chrome look, I'll do another kind of thicker line here. When I did that, I did those same kind of curves and making them kind of like very relaxed S curves. And that was one of my favorite manicures too. Partly because one of the things that makes me really, really like a manicure is when it comes out the way it was looking in my head, or when it comes out like the inspiration. And that one came out just like the inspiration. Kind of liking how the... Oh, you guys can't even see the dots. There, that's better. Next is the teal, or turquoisey looking one. And I'm not sure, in some of these, like the turquoisey one and the bluish one are very similar. I almost feel like I could leave out this turquoise one. But on the other hand, since we already are missing, you know, like the gold is kind of standing in for yellow and orange. So I feel like having the turquoise in there makes it a good number for rainbows. I mean, even though, like, okay, I know if anybody's out there like, look, a real true rainbow has 7 colors. I know Roy G. Biv. If you don't know Roy G. Biv, that's the order of the colors in the light spectrum. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. And, you know, I hate when I see a rainbow, though, and it's less than 6 colors. Like, I've been seeing these rainbows on Instagram, and they don't have any purple. Like, dude, that's not a rainbow. You can get away with the 6-color rainbow to me. You don't have to go for all 7, but you better at least get 6 colors in there. So I feel like if I were to take out the turquoise, then I'd be only having 5 colors, and I'd be breaking my own rule. You really love the X? I like that one too. Reggie Biv, yes. Yeah, nice guy. It makes me think of my junior high science teacher. He's the one that taught us that. His name was Mr. Bickle. Which, of course, as a junior higher, you know, oh, pickle! Bickle the pickle! Or, you know, all that kind of stuff. And I remember kids, I mean, it was kind of mean, like, but it was kind of true. Like, the dude had a lot of spit in his mouth. Like, he would talk and it would be like stringing in between his lips. But he was a great teacher. He was a great science teacher. I enjoyed that class. I've had some really horrible teachers, and I've had some really great teachers also. And, I mean, even the bad teachers, I mean, okay, you've got respect, because I couldn't do that job. I hate kids. Well, maybe that's a little bit extreme, but, I feel no biological clock ticking, I can tell you that much. A part of me thinks it would kind of be nice, but on the other hand, it's like, man, I've got a lot of issues. I don't know if I want to pass that on to any kids. aside from the fact, I mean, wouldn't have time to just do what I want to do. Like, kids are, if you have kids, you need to put them first, you know what I mean? And I feel like I'm not in a mindset where I'm really interested in doing that. Like, I'm good with my cat and my dog, which, for those of you who have not seen Puppy Clark makes a cameo in the Polish in Motion for Full Moon, which uploaded on my channel earlier today. If you want to check that out, you can do !nails, and the link to the YouTube video should come up, and at the very end, since I was recording outside, even though I'm not fully happy with how that video turned out, like, it doesn't really capture the true awesomeness of this polish, but it does a better job than pictures alone would. At the very, very end of the video is a little short cameo from the puppy. So, yeah, I like all these, actually. The X one is cool. I might have a little bit of trouble getting that to fit on my nail. I'd have to really be mindful of where I started the pattern and how much gapping I had in between. That might be another one where it would work out best to kind of almost start in the middle of the design, except then it wouldn't be overlapping the same. Of course I could, like... Okay, now I'm just going to play around a little bit, because I can. Why not? Let me get out a little bit more of this black onyx. Like, you could actually go in and make it weave. Your least favorite is the dots. All about the horrors of having the wrong name in school. Did they tease you for being a Jerry? Oh, I can imagine, Dag. I didn't know it was actually your last name. I was thinking maybe you were like a Mason or something, because my dad is a Mason and he has a little book that he calls the Daggett. And the first time he said that, I was like, wait a minute, what? What is that? You also like the X. Except for Easter. Yeah, well, usually if I do, like, this is, I mean, almost as basic as you could get with dots, like a little staggered pattern. Usually, oh look, I can use my newfound window capture skills again if I can find this. Yeah. Okay. So, okay, window capture, work with me here. This one. This is more what I would do if I were going to go for a dotacure, something with a little bit more personality to it. Or, I also really liked this one. Like this. That was fireworks. I think that was a couple years ago for 4th of July. So, it's pretty rare for me to use this kind of a really basic pattern for a dotacure. Oh, Jerry is your middle name. My dad goes by his middle name also. Now I'm super curious, but I'm not gonna make you expose yourself, Jerry. First four. The first three, I think you mean. The Daggett. Yeah, I never really had any nicknames in school or anything to turn into awesome usernames. That's why I'm using my actual name. Plus, when I started my blog, it was like I guess my blog name is kind of my AKA. So, when I started my blog, I really didn't think about anything like as far as branding. My only concern when I was making my blog name was that it was something that encompassed more than just nail polish, because I figured eventually I was going to want to share other things that I enjoyed. You guys like those, thank you. So the last thing I want to try is I want to try and like, they're so close together, I'm not sure if I could even do this. But what if I like blacked this out a little bit? We did like a little, no, because then it goes, if I really wanted it to go under the gold, then I would want it to go over the green, but the green is already over it. I was thinking I could make it look like woven by adding in a little bit of black in certain places. I don't think that's going to work. I'm not going to pursue that and waste my time. So I think we are just about done. I know people liked the, let's turn this way again. I know people liked the thick swirls. Do you guys like the thin swirls also? And I know people are loving the X, and I personally like this minimalist stripy one. I'm gonna take this and see how much that hollow will pop with a little bit of top coat. I'm really liking. See, I'd have to really be careful with this. Like, as this design stands right now, especially on my right hand, which is a little shorter, this design is too big for my nail. Like, it's too long. I'd have to really be careful. Like, maybe my thumbnail could fit it at the size it's at right now, but I'd have to really kind of be very mindful when applying that on my nail. Bottom, this one? Yeah, that was one of the first ones I did. Thin swirls, but the thick ones look better. The X shape is still the best. I really like the X too. I really like this one too, but that's my minimalistness. Minimalistness? That's maybe not a word. Let me show you guys, like I was talking about with the acetone. You see it's all like gross. But just like tip it into a side and use a Q-tip and kind of soak up the last bits of it and clean out the whole thing. Then next time you use it, you'll have nice clean acetone to use again. Coletisms, yeah. The M in class MSLP is minimal. Sometimes, and sometimes it's maybe a little bit too much. Like, one of the things that's really been hard for me to learn is like when to stop. Like, there have been many manicures where I'm like, oh, let me just add this one more thing, and all of a sudden it's like ruined. Yes, I know on Twitch that can be like a meme, particularly if you go on like Bob Ross stream. If you guys ever hang out in there, the chat is hilarious. Like, you know, as soon as he, you know, puts in the big old tree, the bravery test, everybody's like, ruined. Put in a nice little cabin, ruined. But I'm leaning right now toward the cross design. I think I'm gonna either need to be very, very mindful with this brush, or possibly switch it to the liner brush if I can try to make it more consistent, just to fit it on my nails. But on the other hand too, it's like I said, I try not to make my little test areas too large, but even though they're larger than my nail, it's not always as hard as I expect it to be to transfer it onto my nail, because when you start working on your nail, you can just kind of visualize. You're like, well, okay, if one is here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, if I really maybe start at the tip, I want to make sure that there's room for the purple to fully cross. And especially that would also, like you can't really see here, but if this were on a nail, to you know, like have it be a point at the end, which also creates an illusion of length. So no dots, boyo. the dots were interesting. Like I said, sometimes when I'm testing stuff, I'll test stuff just because I've got a little bit of polish out and I don't want it to just go completely to waste. But if I were to do the dots on my nail, what I would probably do is a line of single dots right up the center of my nail. So like, you know, toot, 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 and have the rest be black, minimal again. But this is just, it does read very Easter. I think even with the black background, the pastel holos read really Easter. So that was a lot of testing, a lot of maybe not quite failure, but definitely not success. But I'm feeling pretty pleased with where we're ending up here. And I'm thinking the tutorial is either going to be the thin stripes, the crosses, the thick stripes, or the thin straight stripes. I probably, like I said, after I'm done streaming, I feel so... Ninja, you're back! I can yell at you. No. I should tell you that I do have quotes enabled. We were discussing commands earlier, and people were disappointed that there were no quotes in the quote command. So next time I say something either awesome or horrible, feel free to add it in there. Yeah, so I'm probably going to decide between those four. If I were confident in any of them, I would probably try to start the tutorial shortly after I end stream, just so that I could get it out of the way and be done with my manicure before dinner time and before Xenoblade time. If any of you guys are looking for a real chill stream this evening, if you are into role-playing games, I would like to shout out my boy Jerry. He's in the middle of a playthrough of Xenoblade Chronicles X. If you guys may be more familiar with the more recent Xenoblade Chronicles 2, it's not quite that awesome, but it's a pretty good game. And you're welcome, Jerry. Jerry is my usual late night stream because he streams 6 days a week from 8 p.m. Central to 4 a.m. Central. And I am often up until the end of his stream. And at that time of the morning, things get a little bit thin on Twitch, and a lot of the people that I normally follow at stream during the day are not on. So he's my company late at night. And I'm sure he would love to have you guys come and keep him company too. They will suit me. Thank you, boyo. Yeah, but sometimes after I'm done streaming, especially if I'm, you know, conflicted about which design I actually want to use on my nails, I will just go downstairs and play with the puppy a little bit and maybe do a crossword. So let's see what is going on here. I also feel like sometimes at the end of stream, it's like all of a sudden I just lose my composure and get a little spazzy, but that has not happened too much today. A little bit. We'll see. I think... What do you guys think? You want some creative or you want some video games? I know, Ninja. I was looking at that. Only because of Andy. So you were already in the know with Andy. Pooh Bear. I enjoy Pooh Bear quite a bit. I don't know if he needs my small host. The what is Pooh Bear playing right now? Levels for the People. End of stream means more cleaning. So take a really long time to decide. No, it just means I gotta host somebody really, really good so that they can also keep you from your cleaning, daggit. You've got more alerts to work on, Jerry. Are they gonna be also Mega Man themed, or are they gonna be what the... Oh. I'm like, what is that sound? I think it's Clark outside playing with his drumstick. He's got he has so many toys, you guys, and I know I brag up my puppy like every single time I stream. He is the smartest freaking puppy. He knows the names of all his toys. He knows so many commands. He's almost perfect. The only thing I could wish is that he doesn't chase Mr. Bean. He and Beanie get along, but he is just so excited, and sometimes he gets a little bit more excited than Beanie would prefer. But Beanie also, like, it would be really easy for Beanie to just stay upstairs whenever the puppy is out, because the puppy doesn't go upstairs, and Beanie will come and hang out. And when they can be calm and they kind of like touch noses, it's just like the cutest thing ever, because Beanie and Dude were very good friends, and I really want Beanie and Clark to also be very good friends. So I think we are going to go for another Andy Ross Joy of Mario painting host and raid. So let's get this raid started, because the raid takes a minute. And of course, as always, I want to thank you guys for joining me, whether you're joining me live or whether you're joining me in the future watching from YouTube. I really appreciate it. I appreciate all you guys. I'm having a lot of fun. It's still stressful. I don't know if that'll ever go away, but I am enjoying streaming. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.